going to be a great episode. 24. You're the boss, Akupan. You got to give us the 3, 2. Remember when we did the first episode, we were all scared?
Didn't know what to expect.
Now we
Cue cards, like 10-minute cue cards.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Remember we said we were going to keep every episode under 15 minutes? So much for that.
Alrighty.
No, it's just if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. Let's do a 3-hour episode just for the heck of it.
Hell no, you don't even want to do that.
Dude, I could talk for hours.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, Elite Circle.
Yeah, Elite Circle. 6-hour episodes. All right, let's do it.
Go.
3, 2.
We had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young. We were broke. We didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey guys, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Episode 24.
Yes, 24.
That means we have officially hit 6 months. 4, 8, 12, 6. Yeah.
Yeah?
Ain't that crazy?
Damn.
Crazy stuff, man.
Flew by.
Flew by. And today's episode is going to be a good one. I'm excited about it.
Yes, because we always talk about this.
Yeah, we do. We talk about it all the time. For 1 second, I was trying to remember what the episode's about. I'm like, hold on. I know I'm excited about it, but I don't remember what it's about. No, this is something we talk about a lot. But before we do that, we want to thank you guys for all your support. We say it every episode.
Yes.
You may fast forward through this part. It's
That's
possible.
okay.
But it's okay. Because if you're just joining us and you just caught wind of our podcast, we are thankful that you are here.
Yes.
And we know that every week we pick up people that we never had before. Mm-hmm. And I had someone messaging me that they're trying to catch up. They're like, I got 22 episodes I got to watch. And
that's cool.
Yeah, hopefully you don't get bored.
Yeah.
I don't think you will. I say it very non-biased that I feel like we do a pretty decent job.
I think
But
so.
if we suck, it's okay. You could tell us. We got like 2 or 3 people that thumbs down us every time now.
That's okay. Yeah.
I know they watch the whole episode. They take the most notes and then they put a thumbs down because they're an asshole. But it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. We love it. We love it. Someone's got a thumbs down. We wanted it for so long.
You wanted it.
I'm like, come on, dude. 10 episodes, no thumbs down?
I was enjoying the thumbs ups.
Shoot.
And then you asked for one. So.
I asked for one and then I got
And
one.
then
Now
it
there's like a consistent 3. Like a consistent 3.
They're all watching that episode. That's why.
Yeah, it's all good. They're fired up.
Yeah.
So anyways, thank you guys for all your support. If you're just joining us, welcome to Win Anyway. My name's Jay.
I'm Ronnie.
And we appreciate you coming on this journey with us. This podcast is all strictly business-related content.
Yes.
And our goal is to help you win, no matter what, to win anyway. Even if everything sucks and you're getting your butt kicked, you got to find a way to win anyway.
Yes. And I like to think, even though it's focused on business, you could use this in your daily life. Because one thing that I've learned from, starting our own business from the ground and building it, to where it is now, is that everything has spilled into, my own personal life, business life, and the growth that I've had in my business life has been directly correlated to, everything that I've done and worked on myself. So,
no doubt.
So there's no separating. So this is useful for everyone, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And we got a lot of people that watch this that aren't in business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's cool. This is just about you becoming better in life in general.
Yes. And this is definitely an episode that's going to 100% apply to that. So you can use it in any area. So
yes, ma'am.
Excited.
And the title of this episode is How to Enjoy the Freaking Process.
Yes, because we say that all the time. And people are always like, okay, but how do you do that? Yeah. How do you enjoy
getting your face punched in?
Exactly. So why don't we, start by saying that? What do you mean by enjoy the process, just in general?
Yeah, I think in order to really enjoy it, you have to have some clarity on the big picture. The fact that when you start something that you want to be great at, when you start something like a business, you don't get rich overnight. Mm-mm. You don't. When I started, I wasn't thinking about being wealthy, for one, because I was broke. So that's not what I was thinking about. But I think if I could go back and give myself some advice, it would be to enjoy the process, to start with the long game in mind. Mm-hmm. To start knowing that I'm going to do this for the next 5, 10, 15 years. And then if I do a good job along the journey, I'm going to become successful. I'll become financially wealthy and I'll have freedom and time and control. But starting with that in mind. I think too many times we start just like trying to make money.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's because we sit down and, when we're, however you were first introduced to the business, obviously they show you, what is possible. Or you start in business, your first week, you start meeting people who are making, $20,000 a month, or they're making $1 million a year, or more than that, right? And you see their lifestyle, and you kind of just want to press fast forward to the point where you're at to where they're at, because you're just so anxious. So it's okay to be in a hurry, but you have to definitely remember, like he just said, it's not a get rich quick. It's not the lottery,
Right.
It's really a business that you have to start building the second that you start with us.
Yeah. And I think the easiest way to do that is to not. Now, you may come in here to make money, but I would challenge you now to change your mentality from I came into business to make money to more of a I came into business to make a difference. I came into a business to make an impact. I came into a business because there's a mission. The vision is the future. The vision is the goal. The vision is where I'm going. The vision is what I want my business to become, what I want my life to be like. That's the vision. So you got to have that vision. But a lot of us, we try to get our vision like the first freaking month in business.
Yeah.
Where the reality is if you sold out to the mission, which is our purpose, why we exist, what we do for people. The vision is like this is what we're going to get, but the mission is like, this is the goal at hand. The vision is this is a long-term goal, but the mission is like, here's our purpose. And I think if you could really sell out to making a difference, the purpose of why we exist, the day-to-day grind of us making an impact for people, and you could sell out to that, then everything else will come to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's how you enjoy the process, ultimately is that, like you said when we were talking about this off camera before we started, is that it's not a get rich quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you think of something you've ever done in your life where you thought to yourself, man, I would do this for free.
Right.
You have to kind of have that mentality. You have to find, like you said, you have to find that mission, something that you're in love with. That way you can essentially do it for free if you have to for a while you're building it.
Now let's pretend you're in our industry, in the financial industry. How do you do that? Because a lot of people, they're not, they come into this for the money. They don't come into this going, man, I'm really passionate about stocks and exchange traded funds and life insurance. Like that's not like, they don't come in fired up about that. How do you do that then? How do you say, I'm going to do this, man, I would do this for free when you're not passionate about it?
I remember I literally remember the moment when it changed from like, we just need to make money to I want to help people. I literally remember the moment for me. I was literally sitting in my car. I think I was about to go into a store like a Vons or something like that. And I got a phone call, from somebody who's brand new on our team. And they were just like, yeah, I know that normally you guys don't do appointments or we had something planned, like something that we were going to do like together. And I know you have something booked for that day, but I really need this appointment. I really need it to go well. I feel like it'll help my business. And it changed it from the business to just like numbers and making money to this appointment could potentially change this lady's life and the life of her families. She had like 4 kids, single mom. And so I was like, wow, these appointments mean a lot to people. And so just the way, it wasn't just an appointment to her. It was literally like, this can change everything for me. It has the potential to change everything for me. And I just felt that emotion over the phone. And I was like, man, this isn't just, a business isn't just making money. It's not just about, selling financial products. It could be something so much more. It could mean that she can spend more time with her kids. It could mean that they don't have to struggle financially, because a little spark can start a fire. And so once I realized that, it stopped being, just about like the money and all that stuff for me.
So you guys, what she's saying is that it went from the vision to the mission. Mm-hmm. See, I think in the very beginning, I think you start in business in most cases because of you have some sort of vision. Like if you think about why people start in the business, it's for some sort of personal gain.
Yeah.
That's why they start. They go, man, I could make more money. Man, I could have more time. Man, I could be famous. Man, I could, that's what it is. I could be my own boss. But then the things that you really want are down the road. Ultimately, the things that you really want, they're down the road. It's not something that's going to necessarily happen overnight. It does sometimes, by the way. People get rich in our industry overnight every day.
Right.
But that's not the overwhelming majority. But when you look at it, the things that we want, ultimately, to quit my job, to make more money, these are things that are a couple months out sometimes. Mm-hmm. So what keeps you in the business is what Ronnie's talking about, which is the fact that even though I don't care about life insurance, I didn't care about retirement or money or any of that stuff when I started, it's that I sold out to the cause of why we exist. Mm-hmm. Like the greater purpose of the greater good of why we're in business. The fact that we're fixing a problem, that we're making a difference in the community, that every time we sit with a client, what we're doing for them is beneficial for them long term. Even just from the education standpoint, if they don't even become my client, mm-hmm. still when I leave their house, they're going to look at money and their finances differently. Every time they swipe their card, they're going to think about it. And now we've made an impact in that family. It's what we do ripples forward. So I think that's number one, is that you're not going to get rich quick, possibly. And it's okay. You know that up front.
Yeah.
But you have to know that up front.
Yeah, and what he said is so powerful. It's the difference between somebody leaving an appointment and let's say they didn't get a result. The person didn't become a client, like you said, right? And you could either sit in your car afterwards and go, oh, what a waste of time. We just waste, because people do this, right?
All the time.
I freaking waste my time. What a loser. Hope they die without life insurance. Like people have said this a lot of times, And it's the difference between that and being like, all right, I just planted a seed. I just opened up their mind for like what he said. Next time they open up a credit card, they're going to think about that interest rate, Next time they make a purchase, like buy a car, they're going to think about the things that you taught them about budgeting, about swiping their card, about saving. Like they're going to think, okay, someday I'm going to want to retire. So it's that seed that you planted in their head, and maybe they will get their stuff set up eventually, right? But you did something, you shared something with them that can change their life. And I mean, think of how many times somebody has said something to you that just stuck.
Yeah. There's so many times I remember when the clients would come back to me all the time and they go, man, dude, every time I swipe my damn card, I think about you now. And I'm like, well, that's good. That means we did something good. And then I had like my sister, she told me yesterday, she met with this dude 4 times. Mm. She's like, I answered so many questions and he still said no. And I'm like, she's like, man, I just wasted 5 hours. She literally said that. And I'm like, well, you know what?
That's funny.
I said, you want to know something, though? It wasn't a waste, because in that 5 hours, think of how much you learned.
Yeah.
Screw him, but how much did you learn over that 5 hours?
Yeah, or your trainee.
Yeah, and your trainee. And you learned how to answer all these questions, how to deal with all this crap from a technical client, mm-hmm. And how to go through. I mean, you learned so much from that.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to get rich quick. It's not. But the trajectory for you, when you're thinking about how do I enjoy the process, it's everything has a place. Everything has a purpose. So let's go on to point number 2. What's point number 2?
Point number 2 is that your numbers are not a reflection of the progress that you're making.
Your numbers are not a reflection of the progress that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? Because I say that all the time. So why don't you elaborate on it?
Because when you're looking at numbers, and what we mean by numbers is like the money you're making, right? Essentially, right?
Yeah,
ultimately,
tracking
like
your cash flow.
Yeah, tracking your cash flow. That's not a reflection of all the growth that you've done.
Now, why would you say that? Because most people would say that. See, the reason people quit is that they go, freaking shit, man, I put in all this time and I'm still not making any money and I'm still struggling and I'm still broke and I'm buying all these tickets for events mm-hmm. and I'm paying my office plug-in every single month, or I'm paying rent in my office for $1,000. I'm not even making $1,000.
Right.
And my wife's freaking mad at me because she's like, why are you putting all this money into this damn thing and you're not making money? So like when you say don't track your cash flow as progress, it's very contradictory to the way that people look at it.
Right.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, let me ask you this. So how many years of schooling do doctors have to do before they get their first paycheck as a doctor?
Probably 8 to 10.
Yeah. And does it mean that the second they get their first paycheck is when they become a knowledgeable doctor?
No.
Or is it the 8 to 10 years? Are they making progress along the way?
Right.
Yeah, so you're making progress from the first class you take to the last class you take, and even further from them, but you only get paid as a doctor, until you're a professional, considered to be, satisfactory, a professional doctor, till you have enough skills to be able to function as a doctor.
And even then, it's called a doctor's practice.
Yes. Yeah, same thing with law firms. It's called a practice.
Because you're still not a master, an expert. You're barely starting to learn. You're barely still learning.
Yeah, and so this is the same thing, is that you would never tell a doctor who's in their 4th year, like, why are you still doing that? You're not making any progress because you're not getting paid. It doesn't make sense, right? And the same thing here, you're learning a completely new industry, and it's going to take time for your identity to catch up with the cash flow, or vice versa.
And vice versa, right. So that was so good. So let me tell you one of the things that I heard in the very beginning was, Jay, if you work 10 times harder on you, like on Jay, like Jay working on Jay, meaning you learning about yourself, you understanding what your flaws are, you understanding what your strengths are, you improving, you becoming the best version of you, dropping your bad habits, replacing them with good ones, reading, growing, stretching your thinking, your identity, all this stuff. If you work more on that than anything, you're going to do fine. And in the beginning, I was too busy chasing the vision, right? My first week in the business, I'm going to make some money.
Yeah.
Versus me selling out to what we do in the process and the purpose. And so here's the thing, is that a lot of times I would look at my cash flow and I go, man, I'm not making any money. Yet my identity was growing. I was getting better. The problem is that although I was getting better, I didn't see it in my numbers. And thankfully, I had a coach who said, Jay, don't worry. Your thinking is here now. So even though your cash flow is here, it can't stay there. It has to catch up eventually. The problem, he's like, Jay, the problem would be is if you got lucky and you made a bunch of money, but your thinking was still down here, your thinking's not going to catch up to your money. That's why people that win the lottery go bankrupt. The money goes like this, right back down to their broke ass thinking, right? He said that the thinking's not going to catch up to the money. So the good thing is you're ahead. It's only a matter of time, bro, before you start making money. Someone who thinks like you cannot stay broke forever.
So your coach refocused your mentality.
He took my like what I was looking at and he turned it and put it on the right thing.
Yeah. Because you in the beginning of business, 25 numbers a day for months.
Getting nothing.
So a lot of people would say, okay, I'm not making progress because I'm doing all this work and I'm getting nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
and thank God he fixed that because I didn't know any better. But he changed the way I was looking at it.
So I would say if you're struggling with this is why having a coach is so important, because they can reframe what you're focusing on and what you're thinking and what you're telling yourself.
Exactly.
Because after that conversation, did you look at it a little bit different?
Oh yeah. Ever since then, I was like, you know what? Because here's the thing, like with my sister's appointment, I'm like, dude, sure, you look at it and you go, well, that was a waste of 5 hours. But the reality is you know how to deal with that now. And you will never know how to deal with that until you do it, until you experience it.
Yeah.
So I said, it wasn't a waste. Like for me, when I went in the fire academy, and I went through all that work and all them push-ups and all that running and all that crap. And people go, man, wasn't that a waste? Because like you're not even a fireman. And I'm like, no, dude, I learned so much about discipline and respect for authority and standards and all this stuff. I mean, like I learned so much from it. I took so much out of it that no, it wasn't a waste. The experience was worth millions. But the problem is that when people get in the business and they go, dude, I'm not making anything anyways. I'm like, money is such a small commodity. People think it's everything. But the reality is that you've grown so much in your thinking and you as a person and the way you look at the world. All of those things get better before it catches up in your bank account.
Yeah, if somebody said you can choose between everything that's in your bank account or your identity, which one would you choose to lose? I choose to lose the money because my identity is so high that I'm going to replace that like nothing.
You'll go make it back.
Yeah, faster than I did the first time.
Exactly. And that brings us to our point number 3, which is don't count the harvest before you've actually planted the seeds.
Yep. Exactly.
Now tell us what that means.
And so many times in our career, and we've both just experienced this over and over and over again. It's been like a constant theme, is that we plant seeds in any area of the business, right? Whether it's, training somebody new or prospecting or clients, right? You have these conversations, they seem to go nowhere. And then months or years down the line, timing ends up being right and you get a result from it. But the problem is that some people like do something, like they'll go to the gym for a month and decide it's not working. I'm not seeing the muscle. I'm not losing the fat. And they just quit. Whether, they might not have seen results for 2 or 3 months. And then the 4th month, boom, they start shredding and they bulk up or whatever the goal is. It's the same thing in the business, is that people don't stick around, I think, long enough in order to be able to reap the harvest from all the effort that they've been put in.
Yeah, so good. It's so good because people, especially if you've ever tried to lose weight or you've tried to build muscle, and they always say the scale doesn't lie, right? But what the scale doesn't show you is how your body is changing internally, right? It takes a little bit of time for your bad habits to come to a complete stop. Like you may stop, for example, let's say you're smoking and you're trying to stop smoking. Mm-hmm. You can stop smoking today, but all that shit's still in your system for a while because your body, it takes time. You trying to lose weight, you get on the scale every day, you're like, dude, I've been killing it, man, and then I'm not losing anything. Maybe you even gained a pound or two because your body's like, what's going on? Why are you drinking water all of a sudden?
Right, what is this?
What is this crap? I haven't had any of this, so I'm going to hold on to it, right? And so everything takes time. Everything takes time. But people in the business, they expect to make millions or even a couple $100,000 or a couple thousand, but they haven't done a couple $1,000s worth of work. And what I mean by that is that then we get discouraged when we see someone else in the office getting paid. We go, dude, man, like they're already getting checks. Like I've been here longer than them. But here's the deal, is that you got to plant all the seeds. And the seed you plant today doesn't harvest today. Sometimes it does. Not out in the field, it doesn't. But sometimes in the business, you meet the guy today and he becomes a client today. Yeah. Sometimes in the business, you meet him today and he starts tomorrow. But it doesn't always work like that. Remember, everything you do, you're doing for your future, not for your present.
Yeah.
That's what entrepreneurship is.
Exactly. And that's, again, why having a coach is so important, because you could be out there planting these seeds and you just check in. Every time you have a doubt, you're like, hey, am I doing this right? Are you sure I'm doing it right? Okay, cool. Keep planting those seeds, because eventually, like you said, they'll harvest. You just got to get those spot checks in between.
Exactly.
Am I watering enough? Am I doing this correctly? Am I planting in the seed?
People think it goes plant, harvest.
No.
But that's not how it goes. It goes plant. And then you got to go tend to your seeds. Yeah. Right? You got to water them. You got to add more freaking vitamins to them. You got to make sure they got the right sunlight. There's stuff you got to do. Yeah. And so I meet you. Here's what happens, you guys. You can't, I could tell you person after person after person that I followed up with for a year before they ended up in business with me. But man, was it worth it. Mm-hmm. But what happens is the seeds you plant, the day you quit, those seeds don't just get, extracted out of the ground.
They don't go with you.
And thrown in the trash. They don't go with you. Somebody else comes around like me and says, hey, have you ever thought about going into business? And they go, you know what? Yeah, my friend was talking to me about that. Yeah, I have. It's just, and boom, and I harvest your seed. Yeah. And they go, man, so so-and-so, they told me, and I go, who's so-and-so? Are they still? No, I don't think they're doing it anymore. I'm like, oh, perfect. So we have a lot of seed droppers that never stick around for their harvest. They just plant. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seed droppers. I call them seed droppers. They're going around dropping seed for me.
So you got to stick around. Yeah. You have to stick around.
You got to stick around, man. Those people are going to end up in business one day anyways. They're going to end up clients someday. Nobody's anti-retirement. No. They just don't feel like saving right now, or you didn't connect.
Yeah, it's not a priority right now. Exactly. Or you didn't connect. Exactly. You were too new. You kind of screwed it up. It's fine. You can come back to it again.
Yep. Yeah. But remember that everything you do now is an investment in your future. In your future. God willing, you're alive that long, and you make it 10, 20 years. Well, shoot, man, stick around so that you could reap the benefits of your work. That's the thing about That's the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur. Is an employee works today and gets paid Friday. An entrepreneur plants seeds today, but gets paid millions later. But the difference is it's later. It's not necessarily Friday. It's delayed gratification. It's the ability to work knowing that your blessing is coming. The problem is you don't know when.
Exactly.
But if you stick around and you enjoy it, you have the process with the right mentality. People quit. The temptation to quit is the biggest right before your breakthrough.
Always,
man. How many times can we?
Jeez.
Literally, I could tell story after story about person on my team that was grinding it out, finally got frustrated. They couldn't take it anymore because their mentality wasn't right, and they quit. And like the next week, I wrote 15,000 points.
Yeah.
That would have been split with them.
Yeah.
But they threw in the towel.
It happens so many, and it's happened so many times that when we are going through like a tough like time during the business or whatever you want to consider a tough time, we're like, that just means something really good is about to happen. It's literally ingrained in our heads where if things are not going as planned, all the appointments canceled, we're like, that must mean like next week, it's about to blow
Game
up.
time.
Yeah.
Why? Because I've been planting all these seeds.
Yeah, there's just...
And I know, like someone didn't go piss all over my freaking field.
No.
So, like, something's bound to harvest eventually, right? I keep looking out, and I'm like, something's going to come out the damn ground sometime soon. I know it, because I know they're down there.
Right.
Every once in a while, you go like, all right, hold on a second. You could dig up your seed. Are you still in there, right? All right, cool. But my point is, it's like, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. But it does not happen if you quit.
Yes.
It doesn't. And you quit. The only reason you quit, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but the only reason people quit is because their vision gets so short, like they all of a sudden they can't see past their paper. They're literally only looking at all the shit that's raining on their head today versus like looking out like, man, what could life be like 6 months out?
Yeah, it's all about like your perception, like how are you perceiving your current situation, and it's 100% up to you.
And I think it goes back to you being fully in the mission.
Yeah.
That if you're doing what's right for people and your heart's in the right place, like you're bound to make money. The money has to come because we can't help people without getting paid.
Exactly. Right.
If we do something for you, for your family, for your kids, in our industry at least, we put something in place that's good for your family and your future. Like, we can't do that for free. The company's going to pay us. And so it's doing it right, putting your heart in the right place. Then God blesses it. But God doesn't bless things that are not his idea. So you going out and you just trying to make money and you just worrying about yourself, not necessarily going to work.
Yep. I believe that 1,000%.
So that's number 4. And the last one, Ronnie, this is a big one.
Yes.
This is another reason why people quit. They drop the ball on this. What is it?
Is you have to have fun. I think a lot of people don't know how to have fun. You don't know how to laugh at yourself. You don't know how to have a sense of humor about your circumstance, if
right.
One way or the other.
Right.
I mean, how many times we just like died laughing because it's like, we had like 10 appointments and we're like
30 canceled.
Yeah, we're like,
we didn't even have 30.
How are we getting negative on appointments?
We had 10, we lost 20. What the hell just happened?
Yeah. Or when somebody quits, how many times we're like, dude, like, you just have to laugh. Like, okay,
wow,
whatever, that's fine.
Cool. All right.
You have to have fun. You have to see this as a growth process. We watch movies all the time, and there's these comedy movies, right? And they're literally a character who's going on a journey of self-discovery, and they're making all these mistakes, and we're laughing because it's not us, but we don't learn to laugh when it's us, Like, we don't learn to laugh at our own, like, mistakes and issues, because really, if you're not having fun, if you can't learn to have fun, I mean, you're just literally torturing yourself. Yeah,
business, there's going to be times that are not fun.
Yeah, of course.
But you have to have fun, like Ronnie said. You have to enjoy it. I mean, we've had months in the business where we just got freaking crushed. And some of it's been self-inflicted. You know, some of it's been the fact that we're not focused. I tell people all the time as a reminder that last week's distractions become this week's nightmares.
Yes.
Last month's distractions become this month's nightmares. Meaning that you may not see your lack of focus in your results today, but you're going to see it next month because it catches up to you. Just
You can't
like
escape.
Exactly. You can't escape it, man. Just like last week's, hard work, last week's efforts become this week's blessings. But if you're not doing that, it's not going to happen. And in the process, win or lose, you have to have fun.
Yep.
Win or lose, you have to enjoy it. That everything is part of the process. Every quitter, every chargeback, every cancellation, every success, all of it, it's all part of your story. It's all part of the movie. It's all a character in your journey.
It's a chapter in your life.
And you can't avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
The book doesn't make sense if you just go chapter 1, chapter 5, chapter 20. Like it doesn't make sense. You miss the storyline that made the book good. You miss the story that literally made the ending happy. And in all of our businesses, we all go through crap.
Yeah, they build you, their character building, activities.
All of it. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
And every next level of your business is going to demand a next level, better version of yourself. Mm-hmm. And you can't get that without going through crap.
Exactly.
It's pushing through it. How do you build confidence?
You build confidence by going through crap and coming out on top. So not letting it pummel you.
Yeah.
You not curling up in a ball and waiting for the storm to pass. It's you going, all right, like I can do this. Let's do it. And you know that you've got you at the end because you made something happen. That's how you build confidence. You can't build confidence if everything's going great. There's no way.
Right.
There's
in
no
fact,
way.
that's actually a setup for a huge heartbreak.
Yeah.
When everything's going
Yeah,
good.
I'm actually worried sometimes when people come into, start their career here and then nothing goes wrong. I'm like, uh-oh. Because the first time they do,
Yeah, here comes the test.
Yeah, have a speed bump. We're like, you still good? Or are you going to take it harder than somebody who had, got punched in the face from the very beginning?
Yeah. Yep. You got to have fun.
Yes.
And let me tell you how you have fun, by the way, is that you have to look at the non-tangible stuff. Looking at your cash flow is a very, especially in the beginning, not so much later on, but in the beginning, it's a very deceiving thing. Mm-hmm. In both ways, like you could be making money and it doesn't mean you really did a whole lot. You had 1 or 2 good clients. Well, that's a very false sense of achievement.
Right.
Because next month, what are you going to do? You better go find another 2 big clients. And you're not necessarily always going to do that. So in the winning side, it's deceiving. And then also in the bad side, you could be crushing it. Like you're killing it every day, your accountability. You're putting in the work, you're trying, and you're not making money. Well, that doesn't mean that that it's not good. It doesn't mean that you're not good at the business. It just means your seeds haven't harvested yet. So that's a very false sense of discouragement. So here's what I always tell you is that the way you have fun is by keeping your head very level.
Yes.
Which is that you don't buy into your successes and you also don't buy into your failures.
Yeah, very even.
Yeah. People are like, you're the man, you're awesome. Like, you don't buy into that shit. You don't buy into the good stuff either.
Right.
You hear it, you take it, you process it. But then the negative stuff, like, man, dude, I told you it's hard. It's hard. Like, you don't listen to that shit either. You don't buy into that either. You just take a very even, level mentality towards everything. It's never as good as it appears. And it's never as bad as it appears. So you have a very level approach and sell out that I'm in business for the future. Mm-hmm. That's how you enjoy the process, you guys. The one thing Ronnie and I got good at is we got good at enjoying the process. Like, I'm very optimistic about everything, and so is she. We're very much optimists. Like we get killed.
Always.
We get destroyed in chargebacks, right? And we're just like, well,
I'm glad it happened now.
Yeah, good. All right. If it happens like right at the end of the month, I'm always like, well, at least it's happened. We'll start off the month next month good. And if it happens like at the beginning of the month, I'm like, well, at least we ended the last month good.
We have a whole month
to make up for it.
to make good on it. So.
I always just find what's the lesson in whatever we're going through,
Always.
good and bad.
Yes.
What's the lesson? You know, we get crushed this month. We make no money. I'm like, well, at least in 12 months, we'll be happy when this month falls off.
And you know what?
There's always a way to look at it.
I always look at it like, well, this is a lesson to be learned. I'm going to learn it right now because I don't want to have God trying to teach me the same lesson month after month after month. So I'm like, hey, just so you know, I understood what you were saying. Let's not.
Yeah, I got it the first time.
Yeah, got it. We're good.
But have fun, you guys. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy, like for Ronnie and I, dude, we're barely getting started.
Yes, just the beginning.
Like, we didn't want to do this freaking podcast because we don't want to look like we're big timing it, like we've made it.
That was, I think, our biggest concern.
Yeah, because we haven't, and we learned from our own podcast. And for us, we try to do everything so humbly because we don't think we're big shit at all.
No,
like we literally are like when we go on trips, we are doing our best to learn. We don't do any talking.
Quiet, yes.
We do no talking. We want to learn because we're enjoying the process. And it's something that we haven't always been good at, by the way. I still remember the day when Dan was like, dude, like, why can't y'all have fun? Why is it so hard for you guys to have fun? And we're like, oh, because we're frustrated.
Yes.
Like we're making 40, 50 grand a month. And he's like, man, he starts laughing at me. This is last year in Hawaii. He's like, isn't perspective everything? Remember when this was your dream?
Yeah.
It was your freaking dream to make 40 or 50 grand a year in WFG. Now you're making it a month and you can't have fun in Hawaii on the beach on a fully paid, all expenses paid trip. I'm like, he's like, dude, you all need to learn how to have fun. And he said this because you guys love the business. You're not miserable at home. You're not miserable doing the business. For you, it's fun to see your team win. He's like, if you had 25, 30 people on your team here in Hawaii, you'd be having a different experience. But it's you constantly learning how to have fun. So, boom, there's that, guys. Enjoy the process.
Yes, thank you guys again so much. Please, comment, subscribe, share, drop this in your GroupMe, your hierarchy GroupMe, again, please. We just want to reach as many people as possible, so we really appreciate when you guys do that. But, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one.
Boom, we're out.